Hello?
Brian.
Hey, what's up?
Eric Carr, how are you?
Pretty good.
Okay, what's up?
How's everything going?
Pretty good.
That's good. Okay.
It was nice talking to you. How are you?
Not bad.
How's the weather?
It's not bad today.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's mild. It's not bad. I guess about 65.
Oh, all right.
You know,
Sounds good.
It's not bad. How's it out there?
Typical. Sunny.
90?
No, it's not. No, the temperatures aren't that high. I think it's like mid-70s something. It's still early here. It's only like 10 o'clock here, so.
Right, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I said yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, it's a typical California day.
Right.
The sun's out.
When you get up, do you work out or?
No.
No?
No, but I don't work out. I'm not into that stuff.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I do a little swimming. There's a pool on the roof, so I swim a little bit. And, you know, when I play, I've been doing demos with Gene and stuff like that, so that keeps me in pretty decent shape.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
What's going on?
Okay, basically, I'd like to ask you a few questions about the artwork for that solo album that never came out.
Oh, okay.
That's some of the questions. I got, a few other questions I want to ask you. But tell me a little bit about that album, or whatever happened with it, or just the artwork.
Yeah, well, I have the artwork.
Right.
Back in, oh, God, it was probably 81, 82.
Right.
They took one of the photos that we had done, for the photo sessions of the Creatures album.
Right.
It was supposed to be a what do you call it? Oh, God, I can't think of the word now. A portrait of
Right.
him. And they had the artist that did the solo album paintings do a painting of that photo.
Right.
Okay, because at that point, everything was open, and they thought that there was a possibility that eventually I would do a solo album.
Right.
So they wanted to have the artwork. So of course, it never occurred.
Right.
And the painting, I had seen the painting years ago, and it was just stored somewhere, and then I came across it, last year.
Right.
So I took it, and I've got it. And it's gorgeous. I mean, it looks exactly like the other solo album covers.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's
great. I mean, it really is great, and I'm sorry that I never got a chance to use it, but, it's all mounted up now, and it'll be in my apartment.
Right. Was any material written for that, or anything?
No, nothing. It never,
Right.
It never went past the idea of doing the cover.
Right.
And that was it. So I don't even know the artist's name. I don't remember his name, but the artwork for the cover of that album was actually done.
Right.
And I own it.
Right. Like with this interview, since you own the rights for that artwork, you don't mind if I print a picture of it, do you?
How did you get it?
I don't have that. Mine's a plaque of it. Okay? There was 3-dimensional plaques that came out in Australia of the album cover.
Of mine?
Yeah. I have it. I'm looking at it right now, and it's beautiful.
How could it be?
Your hair looks like it's on fire with that orange.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I took a picture of it, and I want to put it with the interview, but if you're going to use it, I'd rather not people see it. I don't know. You want me to use it? Or?
Oh, I don't care.
Oh, okay, because I thought you.
No, well, I mean, at this point, I would, even if I was going to do a solo album, I wouldn't put the makeup on.
Right, yeah, but I mean, it's so cool looking. That would have been the best cover.
Well, I don't know. Well, thank you for saying that. I don't know if it would have been the best one, but it certainly would have been as good as all the others.
It looks great. That convention, the KISS convention that just passed, I helped with the museum.
Right.
And I had that up, and people were flipping out.
Really?
Yeah, more pictures, I think, were taken of that, of some of the other rare stuff I have.
Wow.
Because they were flipping out, oh, what's that? I says, that's supposedly the unreleased cover.
Yeah. That's basically what it was. I mean, just the way you're describing it, it was just, my face in makeup, like not face forward, a little to the side.
Right, yeah, that's the way this is. Yeah.
That's it.
And,
no, that's fine. It doesn't matter, sure.
Yeah, it's really cool cover. This one, I don't know, I guess it's exactly what you have. It's about chest level, and you're wearing the costume. You only see, like the sides of the costumes. You got the choker. It has your autograph on the bottom, this one.
Really?
Yeah, they all have, like, your autographs on it.
Huh.
It's 3-dimensional. It's really cool how the face comes out.
Really?
Yeah, it's made of, like the Halloween costume mask type material. That's what these are made of, and the face is 3-dimensional.
Wow, cool.
It's really cool looking.
Cool. Well, no, mine doesn't have an autograph on it, but it's just a black background with the face.
Right.
A little bit of the choker, and I think possibly maybe a little bit of my collar.
Yeah, the collar's there too.
Right, the fox collar.
Right.
There, yeah.
And this is exactly just like the album. It's black, just like the background. Got the KISS logo, got your name on top, and it's even on the bottom it says in agreement, trademarks with Acquaint Management and everything.
Wow.
You know?
That's amazing. I mean, how did that come about?
I don't know.
Huh.
On the bottom it says KISS, and the KISS characters are trademarks of Acquaint Management, New York, and, you know, and on the other side it says Acquaint Management 1980 by agreement with KISS and all rights reserved.
That's amazing. Wow.
You know?
I'd like to see a picture of that, actually.
Well, it'll be in the next issue.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Don't worry about printing it. You know, that's all. You know, history. It
Right.
doesn't matter.
Right.
It's great. No, I would love to have it printed.
Yeah.
Because I think that would be interesting to actually see it and to see what the reaction of the fans is.
Right.
To seeing it.
Matter of fact, I'll try to get another one. They're really hard to get.
I would imagine.
You know, and like, you know, I had to like trade the kid a whole bunch of junk and stuff. So, you know, if I get another one off him, I'll get it for you and I'll send it down.
Sure. I mean, don't sweat it. I mean, I have the original art,
Right.
so I'm happy with that.
Well, this is just interesting the way it is.
Yeah.
It's unusual.
Okay.
You know. Okay. So, how's the new album going?
The new album is going fine. We haven't, we haven't gone in the studio yet.
Right.
We're all out here writing. I've been out here about a month. Everyone's feverishly working away and coming up with some good stuff. I came out here with three really, really good things this time. It looks very good, you know, on this album that I'll be singing a lead.
Yeah,
and at least a lead, and maybe have one or two songs on the album.
Right. That's great.
So I'm really hyped up for this one.
Well,
I really am.
I just got a letter from Gene yesterday, and all it says is Eric sings. Gene Simmons.
I know.
I
know. Well, that's in typical Gene style.
Yeah.
Is as few words as possible.
Yeah,
ink is expensive.
Yeah. I know. Even that questionnaire is like it's just like one word answers.
I know. I was reading something that he did just yesterday, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
Right.
It's like I'm saying, Gene, come on. You know, it's like this is not like you're not giving dictation to somebody. This is an interview. Answer these people. You know.
Right. Yeah.
But that's the way he is these days.
Is there any song titles for the songs that you wrote?
Well, there are. I mean, everything has titles. You know, I don't know if it's good to give them at this point yet.
Right.
You know, but I'll talk to Gene about it. And if he thinks it's okay, and I can always call you back and give you some titles.
Okay.
All right, but no, we've got a really, really good up-tempo, you know, double bass thing that we always like to do on each album now.
Right.
But this one that we're doing now is Gene and Bruce composition, and it's by far the best one of that type of song that we've done.
Right.
It's really, really good. We did a great demo of it at the studio called Fortress.
Right.
Which, as far as I'm concerned, is probably the best studio that I've ever worked in.
Wow.
And it's a very small studio. It's 24 track. It's, you know, all great equipment in there, but it's very low key.
Right.
You know, it's very small. It's hard to describe it. It's a real studio by every thing that you could possibly say is what a studio should be.
Right.
But it doesn't feel like you're in a place of business. It almost feels like it's in your house or something. You know?
Right. Yeah. I know. I was up at a place called North Lake Sound.
Uh-huh.
And Ace was up there recording. And
right, that's right. Yeah, recently.
And that's like it's like home.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like a studio. It's like home.
It's great. I mean, we've been doing demos there. Gene and I, with Bruce, have been doing demos there, and the sound that comes out of there is like the best that I've heard.
Right.
In a long, long time.
Wow.
It's great because when you leave, the cassette sounds exactly the same as it did when you're listening to it in the control room.
Well, that's
which
cool.
Doesn't happen in a lot of studios. You know, you get out, you think you have a great mix, and you play it at home, and it sounds like shit.
Right.
You know, but this place, the stuff is great. So it looks like we will probably do most of the album there.
Right.
And it's going to be great. It really is going to be great. So there's good material. I haven't heard any of Paul's stuff yet.
Right.
But the stuff that Gene's been writing is really good. The three things that I brought out, I'm finishing one, which is a great ballad.
That's great.
That I'm trying to send this to the band, you know, totally complete.
Right.
Everything's done, a complete finished demo.
Right.
And that'll probably be ready to let the guys hear it, you know, in about 2 weeks.
Right.
And then let's see what else. The other two things, this is great. The other two things I'm working on with Gene, you know, completing those.
Right.
And we already cut the tracks for them.
Right.
Just kind of like working on lyrics and vocal, you know, things and stuff like that. So it's good. I'm really excited about it.
That's great.
I really am.
You know, you mentioned Bruce. I heard he got yeah.
Okay, no, because I'm talking an awful lot.
No, I'm taping every day. I can't write that quick. But
say fuck then, right? Okay.
I heard Bruce got in an accident. Is he okay, or is that just rumors?
Yeah, you know, I made a note to myself today to call Gene and ask him about it. You know, if they'd want to call MTV and put it in the Weekend Rock. You know?
Right.
No, it'd be great because then Bruce will get a lot of letters and
Right.
flowers.
Right.
And he'll know how famous he is.
Yeah.
Or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Wow.
It's like every time I've been trying to see Bon Jovi twice this year on his tour, once on the East Coast and once out here.
Right.
And it was that night that Bruce and his fiancée and I were going to go to see Bon Jovi.
Wow.
And I had bought a belt on Melrose. It's kind of like the 8th Street
Right.
of L.A., right? You know, but it's real trendy shops and all this shit. So I had to have it made a little smaller. It was too big.
Right.
Bruce's fiancée was supposed to pick it up for me that day. Bruce and I were in the studio that day working on my ballad.
Right.
We get back. I drop him off home. I'm just assuming that his fiancée probably picked up the belt.
Right.
As it turned out, she didn't. So Bruce offered to go down to Melrose and get it. He went and got the belt, went and got himself some ice cream, and when he was walking across the street, some guy apparently came out of nowhere. One guy stopped. That's like the law out here. If
Right.
someone's in the street, you have to stop for him.
Right.
One guy stopped, and the other guy either came out from nowhere or was like down the block and going a lot faster than Bruce thought because he didn't see him, and he hit him.
Wow.
And Bruce, he got hit probably like around 30 miles an hour.
Wow.
Bruce was, to say he's lucky to be alive is like an understatement. People get killed
Yeah, I know.
getting hit with less force than Bruce got hit. He got thrown up on, it was a little small pickup truck,
Wow.
threw him up on the hood, he hit his head on the windshield, smashed the guy's windshield,
Right.
no cuts, no blood, nothing.
Wow. That's
But
great.
the way he landed, he fractured his collarbone.
Wow.
So, he's okay. They brought him to the hospital. I picked up his fiancée. We went down to the hospital. We brought him home that night. He
Right.
was walking and everything. He was just a little sore.
Wow.
And he's fine.
I wish him best.
Yeah. No, he's a little stiff in his arms.
Right.
The accident didn't affect his arms in any way. I want to make sure you understand that.
Oh, yeah.
But he's just understandably stiff because he's in this little,
Right.
brace on one shoulder just to make himself stand straight.
Right, yeah.
But he's fine. He's moving around and he's complaining and everything else. As a matter of fact, he already did some rhythm guitars on one of my tracks
That's good.
last week, so he'll be okay.
Right.
How'd you find that out?
Just, through the gossip.
No, that's interesting because I would, like news gets around. It's
Yeah. See, the way I heard, he got hit by a big truck and stuff, and he got ran over.
No.
That's why I wanted to hear, what happened, if he really even got...
No, he was walking down the street. He had picked up a belt for me and
Right.
almost got killed picking up a belt for
Wow.
Eric Carr. Yeah.
Something.
And we still didn't get a chance to see Bon Jovi. goddammit. Fucking guy, man. He gets hit by a car. I blew my whole evening.
Wow. So, let's see. You have a drum video coming out?
I've had that drum video coming out for 2 years now. It's I wanted to do it, and I just for one reason or another I kept canceling it. From
Right.
The guy that does the hot licks thing.
Right.
And then we just kind of put it on hold and didn't talk about it anymore. I would like to do it. Eventually, it's going to get done, but as to when it's going to happen, I don't know.
Right.
It's going to be when I just feel like doing it, when I feel like I'm ready to do it.
Right.
But it will be done.
And what about...
And I have a tape, an accompanying tape that I wanted to do with that. So I had an idea for this years ago. They have these things called drum drops.
Right.
And it's just like a cassette, like a regular cassette. And they had 5 or 6 of them. There's a lot of different companies that do this now. It's just drum tracks on it.
Right.
As though it's like an album's worth of drums with no other musical instruments on, no
Right.
vocals. And there's all different kind of feels. There's a Latin, there's a ballad, there's a country, there's a this, there's a that.
Right.
Okay. I wanted to do one of those things just for rock and roll.
Right.
Let's say if you took the Creatures album and took off all the instruments except for the drums.
Right.
That would be something that I'd want to do.
Right.
And with that thing, it's kids can listen to it to practice if they want,
Right.
or you can use it to write songs, which
Yeah, that's
is what
cool.
I do.
Yeah, that's cool.
So and that will when I do the video, I'll do the drum track thing too.
That's good. What about the cartoons?
The cartoon is unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, I shouldn't say that. It's still pretty much at the same position. I keep developing, and I'm
Right.
getting more ideas about the characters. I've got more music written for it and everything. But the problem has been just finding the right people
Right.
that can do the work, first of all, and that are willing to, to commit themselves to the project and understand what the fuck I want to do.
Right, yeah.
It's like I don't want them to be superheroes.
Right.
You know, I don't want them to get off stage and then have an adventure on Jupiter.
Right.
You know, in the same episode.
Yeah.
That's not what these guys are. These guys are like a real band.
Right.
And they'll do real band things when they're not playing, but, you know, stuff that kids would appreciate and stuff that's just like normal life stuff. You know, like one guy that doesn't take his sunglasses off. He hates to take his sunglasses off. Won't go out without them.
Right.
So one of the episodes could be that he loses his sunglasses and he won't come out of his hotel room. And they've got a show that night, and they got to find his sunglasses.
Right.
You know, something really. It sounds stupid, but it's simple, and it would be great.
Right.
So I'm negotiating right now with an animation company in Toronto.
Right.
A place called Nelvana. They do the Care Bears and all these other things, and I'm negotiating with them, and I got a couple other meetings coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Right.
So, you know, after all that I just said, basically nothing's happening.
What do you call it? Are you going to be doing anything on Ace's album?
I wrote with him. Yeah, you know, you can be the first exclusive person to write this, because I'm surprised that it didn't get around.
Right.
When Ace was auditioning guitar players
for
his band, I played with him.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm
surprised.
surprised.
I've been reading, you know, I've been reading like a lot of the Kiss fanzines, even maybe yours, had the thing about the auditions for drummers, but nobody wrote about the fact that I had played with Ace the day before.
Wow.
With him and John Regan.
I'm surprised Richie didn't tell me, or no one told me.
They learned 5 songs. You know, I learned 5 songs, and we played with like, I don't know, about 7 or 8 guitarists. I was playing for about 9 hours.
Wow.
And it was great. You know, I had a ball.
Were you there the same day?
It sounded wonderful.
Were you there the same day Richie was there?
I was, yes.
I'm surprised he didn't tell me that.
Yeah, he was one of the last. You know, maybe they didn't want to. Maybe they just didn't want to, you know, put up any Kiss publicity, or maybe it just kind of slipped out. You know.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot. But yeah, I played that day, and I was there. I was playing when Richie came down. He was one of the he was the next to the last guy, I think, that came down.
Right.
Like about 8 o'clock that night, he came down.
Weren't they auditioning drummers too that day?
No, they auditioned drummers the next day.
Oh.
I played on Saturday. The next day they auditioned drummers.
Wow.
And that's when they got their drummer guy.
Wow.
Yeah, and then Ace and I got together 2 times at my apartment to write, and I came up with something that I thought was really good. We actually we put together a pretty good 12-track demo. I've got a 12-track in my house.
Right.
And it was tentatively called Rock Your Mind.
Right.
And what I did is basically rewrite Breakout.
Right. Yeah.
You know, the same kind of riff, and try to twist it around a little bit and make the same type of song out of it, because that's what Ace wanted to do.
Right.
He wanted to have another Breakout. But the way it's turning out now, you know, I guess everybody thought that it sounded too much like Breakout.
Right.
Or that he's got a lot of other great material. So chances are it probably won't be used, but it's still a good track. And you know, if he doesn't want to use it, maybe Kiss will use it, or I'll use it for something else.
Right. Yeah. Wow. How'd you like going to Japan?
Japan was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, Japan was great. It's very, very alien, man. It's like being on another planet. It really is, because everybody's little and they all have the same face. No, I mean, I shouldn't say that. That's not true.
How's the fans over there? They great?
Yeah, they are. They're real fanatical. It's like you know, Beatlemania type thing. It's like I guess at the height of the Kiss craziness.
Right.
You know, and then when we went down to Australia, I mean, I got a taste of that. I was lucky enough for that. You know,
right.
Kids camping outside the hotels and trying to climb up the walls and all that stuff. You know, 11 floors up.
Right.
So, it was good. It was really good.
Wow.
But you can't understand a word.
Right.
And you can't read street signs.
Yeah.
And, you know, unless you see, like, the golden arches that you know is McDonald's, man, that's it. You don't know nothing.
Wow.
It's terrible.
So what's your most memorable show, then?
We're in Japan?
Anywhere.
My most memorable show?
Yeah, what was your most memorable?
Gee, that's hard. You know, that's hard to say, because even shows that are, like, the most memorable, I forget them anyway.
Well, how about in the States?
In the States, I would probably say, let me just think. Maybe, you know, I don't know how good the show was.
Right.
But just for the sake of what it was, I think probably the Garden.
Yeah.
Because, you know, to actually play Madison Square Garden was like, holy shit, you know.
Yeah.
Now I know that I am in a big famous band. I'm actually playing at Madison Square Garden.
Right.
So I would say that you know, that was really a really major show.
How'd you actually get into Kiss?
Well, they ran over me with the limousine. No, I always tell this story. I was telling somebody this story just an hour ago.
Wow.
Okay. Don't you know this story already?
No, I don't. You know, I was just wondering, did you go through auditions? Was there an ad? Was there...
Yeah, no. Well, there was an ad that I didn't know about. The way this whole thing turned out, it was an absolute... It was meant to be I was meant to be in KISS and to drive them crazy for 9 years. They deserved me. God sent me to them to pay them back for Peter. No, I'm kidding. But I was playing in a cover band,
right.
a rock cover band,
right.
that was like a 4-piece and with a keyboard player, and then he left after a couple of months.
Right.
And this was like November and December of '79.
Right.
So I ran into him about 4 months later, whatever
right.
it was, April or May. No, I guess in May. And I ran into him just by accident. We were going to play at this place called Poets on Northern Boulevard. It's not there anymore. It's an Italian restaurant now. So I went in the night before just to have a couple of drinks. He happens to be there. I invited him to see us play the next night. So he comes down. I had already told the band, because, it was going nowhere. I was making like $7 a night and
right.
just nothing. I'd already told him that I was going to leave, so the band was probably going to break up. But at the end of the night, he says, Eric, you got to get out of this band. And I said, yeah, I know. I said, I already told him that I'm leaving, and that's it. He said, well, why don't you audition for KISS? So I said, fuck you, get out of here.
Right.
What are you talking about? He said, no. He said, they were auditioning drummers. So it was through him that I found out. I didn't even know that they were auditioning people. I had no idea whatsoever. So the next day, this was a Thursday morning, I went out and bought KISS Unmasked, got the address and the telephone number of Coin Management, called them up, hi, I want to audition for KISS, what do I do? And they said, well, send in a tape of you playing and singing, a resume, and some photos.
Wow.
And I did that. I was supposed to get it in, like on Friday, but I didn't get it in until the following Monday. They picked, I was real smart. I put it in an orange folder.
Right.
I figured there'd be, dozens of folders there, and I figured, okay, they'll put a bright orange folder, and maybe they'll pick it up.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened.
That's cool.
That's exactly what happened. The girl that was working there, Jane, told me, we became really good friends. She told me that when she sat down at her desk that morning, Monday morning, she reached for the orange one first because it attracted her attention.
That's a great idea.
The very first one she reached for, Wow. So I came down to see Bill Coin. I met him. He gave me a letter that had like a list of 5 songs to learn. In the event that I was picked for an audition, they picked me for an audition. He suggested that I shave my mustache off because I had a big rock and roll mustache
right.
at that point. And then I auditioned for them the next day. And then I came back a day after that, and pretty much in like a week's time, less than a week, I was the guy.
Wow.
I was one of the last 3 guys they auditioned. They had played with, 80, 90 guys. They had hundreds of applications that never even got to an audition.
Right.
And I was one of the last 3. Bobby Rondinelli was one of the other guys.
Right.
He was there the same day as me. I didn't know who he was at first.
Right.
And I still don't know who he is. No, he's been really mean to me.
Wow.
In the press, I've read stuff for no reason. No reason at all.
Right.
And that was it. They took me.
That's great.
Yeah.
That orange folder worked.
I'm sorry?
That orange folder worked.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Yeah, it was good, but I said, fuck it, what do I have to lose? I was getting off on the fact that I'm sitting there waiting, and I'm saying, holy shit, I'm going to be one of the few people that's going to see the guys in KISS without their makeup on.
Right, yeah.
I'm saying, oh man. And then when they were walking in, I was trying to figure out who was who.
Right.
Paul I recognized like instantly.
Right.
Because he looked basically the same to me.
Right, yeah.
Gene, I'm trying to remember who came in next. It was either Gene or Ace. I think Ace came in, and I wasn't really sure who he was, and then Gene didn't come in until I was already in the room working on the drums, getting them set up, or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's the story of my audition.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You think this next tour is going to be extensive like the last tour, or not really, since Gene has no arrival now?
In what way?
Like you hit the stage, you hit Japan, you hit Europe, you hit,
Well, we did Europe because of the Monsters thing. There was enough interest for us to go to Europe anyway. And then the Monsters thing obviously was great for us. Japan, that was building up for a long time, so that just seemed to be the right time to go.
Right.
There'll certainly be interest. I think it's really going to depend on the album.
Right.
When the album comes out, if it looks like it's doing really well, those kind of things kind of take care of themselves.
Right, yeah.
If everybody's buying the album and it makes sense for you to travel, then you travel.
Right, yeah.
But it'll certainly be a full stage tour.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. I would love to go to Australia again.
Yeah, I think they want you there.
I know they do. It's you kind of gotta. Even though the fans, say that they want you, you got to look at all the logistics and all that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But I think it would be maybe not this year, maybe next year. I think it would be time again to go. It's like 10 years, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. You producing any bands or going to?
No, you know, I was managing the female thrash band,
Right. Yeah.
Carrie,
Right.
who I would I would rather you not mention.
Okay.
Yeah, don't put that, because it was a terrible situation how I came not to manage, and the bass player is my ex-girlfriend.
Right. Yeah.
Who fucked me over real bad.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we'll cut that out.
Yeah. No, don't put anything about it. But
No.
No, at this point I haven't really gotten any tapes in a while, and the stuff that I was getting, there's just not.
Right.
You know, whether it's good or bad, it's like if it doesn't sound right to me, I'm not even going to get involved with it.
Right.
You know, I'll go with a band if I like it, whether or not I think it's commercial or if it's ridiculous or if anybody else thinks it stinks.
Right.
It won't matter to me, because if I like it,
right,
you know, and I'm into it, that's fine.
Right.
But
yeah.
I haven't gotten anything like that yet.
You know, a lot of people want to hear you sing. You know that.
Yeah.
And
me most of all.
Yeah, everybody. You know, and they want to, hear your own stuff.
Yeah.
Why'd you go with a ballad?
Why did I?
Yeah.
You mean with Beth?
No, I mean, you said your new song is a ballad.
No, I have a couple of things.
Oh, you got a couple of things.
I have a couple of things. There's three things actually, all right? And you know, the ballad is great.
Right.
You know, the demo that I've got done now, even though it's not finished, we need a solo on it. You know, but Bruce went and got himself killed, so he couldn't play.
Right.
That's a great song, and if I was going to be introduced, you know, a lead vocal, I wouldn't mind singing it at all.
Right.
Because it's like a Def Leppard kind of ballad. You know, it's really good.
Right.
And it shows off my voice in a really good way. Then the other thing that I'm working on with Gene is more like an AC/DC Kiss kind of thing, and that's, you know, more rocked out.
Right.
So, well, you know, as a matter of fact, I'm going to do vocals on it again tomorrow.
Right.
And then there's this other thing that I came up with. It's a Led Zeppelin version of a Led Zeppelin feel of an old song that I used to like.
Right.
And we're making it into a different song, and that one's really cool. And out of the three, I actually hope that one would wind up on the album.
Right.
Because it's a really great track. We've got the track already done.
Right.
The demo that we did is 24 track, and I don't think we'd do it any better if we redid it. You know, so we've already got something for the album if we want to use it.
Right.
But any one of those three is okay with me.
Right. Us too.
Huh?
Us
yeah,
too.
Really. Thanks.
You know.
Thanks.
How?
I mean, you know, I hope that at least one of them. You know, I mean, I would like to sing, but if I don't get a chance to sing, I hope that at least one or two of my songs winds up on the album.
Right.
Because I've got some really good stuff this time.
Right.
That deserves to be there. It's good.
Right.
Yeah.
How was the reaction that you heard from fans about you singing Beth?
I never heard. I expected to get some shit.
Right.
You know, the same way like I expected to get shit from the fans when I first joined the band.
Right.
And it literally never happened.
Right.
It never happened. The worst that happened when I joined, every now and then, you know, no, I'd never get people like saying, Eric, you suck, or anything like that.
Right.
Or, fuck you, you know, nobody threw stuff at me.
Right.
But I'd see people with Peter's makeup, or, you know, holding up a sign that said Peter's the best, you know, and I understood that, but that
Right.
was nothing. I mean, I never ran into that at all. People took to me right away, and it's
Right.
the same thing with Beth.
Right.
Of all the fan letters that I've gotten, there's not one that's ever said anything bad about it.
Right. Yeah.
And no one that's ever talked to me has said anything bad.
Right.
You know, so I'm glad that nobody got very upset about it.
No.
Because I tried, you know, I did my best on it.
Right.
And I felt uncomfortable doing
Well,
it.
I know we had a little poll in our last, or the issue before that, and we had like a mix, like, you know, review, but we took pros and cons.
Right.
So we got both views, and it was pretty good. And a lot of people wrote letters says, you know, he can sing.
Yeah.
You know.
That's great.
And it was cool.
No, that's good. I mean, I appreciate it. I really do.
You know.
I tried to do, to do as good a version as I could. I mean, it's basically I'm kind of doing it the same way Peter did, except just in a much smoother voice.
Right.
You know, we tried to keep very close to the original feel of the vocal, because when you do something like that, it's risky enough changing the voice anyway.
Right.
But if the feel of it is the same, you know, then it'll still be okay. It'll still feel okay.
Right.
You know, if I tried to get fancy,
right,
you know, or do some different kind of notes or anything like that, anybody that knew the song and that was listening would know right away. You know, what is he doing? That's not right. You know?
Right.
So you leave it alone.
Yeah.
And, I'm sorry that Peter's upset about it, you know, because I know he's very upset.
Yeah.
I had nothing to do with the way the thing was worked out.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I didn't know. I told Gene and Paul that that I was a little nervous about doing it at first. I didn't want to because it's Peter's song and all that stuff.
Right.
But they convinced me, they assured me that it would be great for me, and that there was no problem, that the fans were going to love it, and don't worry about it.
Right.
So I thought about it, and I said, okay, I guess it'll be all right.
Right, yeah. Is there a re-release coming out of The Elder or something?
Ooh, well, if there is, I don't know about it.
Oh,
maybe on CD?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Oh, yeah, that's a possibility, sure.
Yeah, because I've been hearing stuff about that.
Yeah, why, I don't know, but that's...
Right. What do you call it? There's another thing that's coming out. A lot of KISS fanatics, right? They collect anything on KISS. Right. So, all of a sudden, KISS bootleg albums are coming out on CD. How do you feel about that?
On CD?
Yeah, they're out already.
Well, I don't really know, how to feel about it. I guess the only thing, you can't stop people from doing that. I think the only thing that you can really say is that if people are going to make these things and people are going to buy them, you have to hope that at least it's good enough quality,
right?
That the person's not getting totally ripped off,
right?
Because it kind of indirectly reflects on us,
Right.
It makes us look bad. At least if a kid pays $30 for a bootleg, it's at least decent quality.
Right. Let's see. What kind of mood is Paul in since finishing that solo tour? How'd it go?
Know.
Yeah, how'd it go?
Know. His head is so big, I can't see his face. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's. Ooh, this is real touchy. I don't know how to say this. I think it was. Now, this you have to promise that you're not going to print it.
Okay, no, anything you don't want printed, just tell me. I'm just
honest. Don't even mention that you talked about the tour.
No, okay,
right?
fine.
I think he did great in a lot of the cities. He did not do as well as he thought he was going to do.
Right.
In a lot of the cities, attendance-wise.
Right.
Everyone that was there was KISS fans, basically. I don't think he had any new fans there that just, were fans of Paul Stanley.
Right.
It was people that wanted to see anything that had to do with KISS. I saw them at the Ritz. I thought the band was great. Paul performed better than I've seen him perform in years. He was actually singing. And I think it was great. I think that he feels good about it, but I think maybe he's got some renewed appreciation for how important KISS is,
right,
as a band.
Right.
And please don't print that.
No, I won't print it. I promise.
Gina said the same thing. We all talked about it, and I'm sure he made a lot of money.
Right.
Just because of the way he set the whole thing up. But I think maybe impression-wise, he might not have gotten the impression that he thought he was going to get.
Right.
He still feels great about it. I know that, but
right.
I know.
I went to about 6 shows, and it was, some were crowded, and some were, not crowded.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure the reaction was great. The kids went crazy.
Right.
Yeah, of course. That's to be expected,
Right.
How would they not? It's Paul Stanley.
Right.
He's doing KISS tunes. He's right there in front of your face. What's not to get excited,
Right.
But the point is, I don't think he was breaking any new ground.
Right.
In other words, if he was trying to get an idea of what it would be like to be solo,
right,
then I don't think he did it with that tour, because he didn't. He should have, if he wanted to do that, he should have gone out with completely new material,
right,
that nobody ever heard before,
right,
and to see how the people reacted. And then if he had people going amazingly crazy, then he could say, hey, I've got it,
Right.
But to go out playing KISS tunes, it's like being at a KISS concert.
Right.
So of course the fans are going to go nuts. Please don't print any of this.
No, I won't. I promise.
All right. I'll kill you.
I won't.
All right. I won't like you anymore.
So what's going on with the KISS company? I don't call her that often. I call maybe once every 2-3 months.
Mm-hmm.
That because there's no reason for me to call. But every time I call, someone's gone.
Oh yeah, I know. Well,
I first started with Diane, then I went to Dorian. Now to Derek Simon. Derek's gone. Now I asked whoever I talk to. I go, who do I talk to if I'm looking for get an interview? She said, whoever picks the phone up.
That's true. That's basically the way it is. Yeah. They I don't know. These guys, they don't know how to be. They know a lot of stuff, but they don't know how to be bosses in a business-like sense.
Right.
And we had. I can understand, and I feel bad for them, because for like 11 years they had Glickman Marx doing everything.
Right. Yeah.
So there's like tiny little things that have to be done every day that you don't realize.
Right.
But you have people that specialize in doing that kind of work.
Right.
And now they're trying to do everything themselves, and you can't do it.
Right.
And the worst part about the whole thing, it's fine, but they hire great people.
Right.
and then they don't allow them to do the work.
Right.
You know, I mean, Lynn's great, and she's got publishing experience and A&R experience and marketing and all this other stuff, and they had her doing like the receptionist, you know.
Right.
But she's getting more work to do. You can speak to Lynn. I think that's who you talk to, right?
I have no idea who I
It's
talk.
probably Lynn.
Right.
Yeah, she has like a Midwestern accent.
Right. Yeah.
A very bouncy kind of voice.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's Lynn. She's great, you know, and Sharon is great. Those are the two assistants that are there.
Right.
And then you've got Howard, who's like an accountant, you know, so that's
Right.
basically all he does.
Yeah.
But what he meant about the phones is that anybody picks it up, and
Right.
then, they'll just steer you to the right person.
Right. Yeah. Is there
So
a
the stuff is
California?
getting done.
Is there a California office too?
No, not anymore.
No.
No, that was that was a Glickman Marks office, and I don't know if it's still here, but you know we don't work with
Right.
them.
So if I want to send you letterhead or something, send it to the New York office.
Yeah, you send it to the KISS company. Yeah, that's the KISS office now.
Right.
There's no outside, you know, thing unless like if you want to send something to Polygram
Right.
or any press, you know, public relations firm that we may be using. But those we change a lot too.
Right.
Yeah. And at this point, Sharon and Lynn and Howard are like the mainstays. I don't think they're going to go anywhere.
Right.
And we've got another girl, Debbie, that's working with Howard also. She's just assisting financially, like paperwork.
Right. Who?
And Derek was great. I was really sorry to see him go
Wow.
because we needed somebody like Derek there.
Right. Yeah.
Because you know he's very good at working records,
Right.
and it would have been great to have him behind this album. He was really gung ho to do it,
Right.
but he wanted to work on other bands.
Wow.
You know, he had outside interest, which didn't bother me, but apparently Gene and Paul didn't want it that way. So
Right. Yeah. Who came up with Kiss Central?
Kiss Central?
Yeah.
I think that was our idea.
Yeah.
I think that was Gene and Paul's idea. Just because we need a centralized fan club thing.
Right.
It's important to know what the fans are thinking.
Right.
You know, when Glickman Marks disappeared, I mean everything was just going into boxes, and nobody was reading anything or knowing anything anymore. So I think it's great.
Right.
What's her name? Gilda?
Yeah, Jill the
Yeah,
Conservative.
Gilda from Kiss Fire.
Right. Yeah.
She's doing that. I don't know how they picked her to do it, but
Well, she's a great person.
yeah,
She's really nice.
she loves me too. No, I don't.
No, she's a really nice person.
I know
Really.
she's very nice.
You know, she's nice.
So at least we've got something centralized now. You know,
Right.
we'll build up a new Kiss army, hopefully.
Right. Does Kiss ever hear anything about these conventions that go on?
Yeah, I mean we read about them all the time, and we get calls, from people like yourself and other fans that tell us when these things are going to happen.
Right.
There was one of them, the one up in New England.
Right.
That happened. I don't remember when it was. I wanted to go.
Right.
I really wanted to go, and I don't even remember where I was. But obviously I didn't go.
Right.
I'd like to go to something like that. I think it would be hysterical.
Right. Yeah.
Be a
I think the fans would go nuts.
Yeah. Oh, it would be crazy. I mean, and I would just have a good time looking at all the stuff. And plus, it would give me like a whole day to just talk.
Right. Yeah.
Which I love to do.
It was pretty cool because I had two like your spandex there, and people were taking pictures of them in the museum.
Yeah. What, the leopard things?
I had the leopard and the zebra.
Yeah. How did you get those? Did I give them to you?
No, you
Did
didn't.
Vinny give them to you?
Yeah.
Did
I got them from Vinny's cousin because Vinny had so much stuff.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I don't mind. You don't have to be careful. Like I'm going to say, hey, give it back. I'm just curious, because I don't remember if I give them away.
No, I got them from Vinny. Had so much stuff, I guess he just couldn't fit in his basement no more.
Yeah, so he gave away my stuff. Nice.
No, he gave away a lot of stuff because I got a lot of stuff that I mean, not a real lot of stuff, but I got like Paul's belt and
Yeah.
Yeah,
Vinny's got like unbelievable stuff.
You know.
He really does. Have you spoken to him recently?
No, I haven't.
I haven't talked to him in who knows how many millions of years.
Yeah, me neither. I haven't talked to him, I guess, about 6 months.
Wow.
But I know he got married and stuff like that.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, that's. I think the last time I saw him was Kiss at the Ritz.
Was he there? Yeah, that's right. That's where I saw him.
Yeah, that's the last time I saw him.
No, I'm sorry, not Kiss. He was at the Paul show.
Oh, I didn't see him there.
Yeah, I did. That's where I saw him. I'm pretty sure that's where I saw him.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the last time
Just
I
for
saw
a second.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Away. Anything else?
Well, and then, do you have anything to say to the fans? Like everybody else always asks that question at the end.
Yeah, what do you want to say to the fans?
I know.
I just want to thank them, once again for caring and for being behind Kiss and myself.
Right.
And, I'll continue to give 110% and to try not to ever let them down.
That's great. I really appreciate you giving me this interview because when I called the office, they said, no interviews.
Really?
Yeah, they said they're too busy writing. But
No,
I'll ask them anyway.
No, that's okay. Really.
That's what they said.
Well, who said that anyway?
I don't know whoever I guess Lynn or Sharon. One
Yeah,
of the,
well, you know what it is. It's just that if Gene or Paul are really busy and they don't want to do interviews,
right?
Then they say that to the people at the office, and then they just automatically think that means everybody.
Right. Well, I said I'd like to interview with Eric Carr,
Yeah.
if possible, and she says, well, I don't think they're giving out interviews because they're writing material.
Right.
He says, but I'll call him and see what he says.
No, that was fine. I'm glad they got through to me. I enjoyed it. I like doing these.
And I appreciate it.
It's okay, man.
Thanks a lot.
All right, so take care of yourself.
Have fun with the new album.
Okay, thanks.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.